I don't. Yeah, I have godchildren, so I have three goddaughters, and I also have a niece, um, and then other children who are around me who are very close.
How old
Yeah.
is your niece and how old are your goddaughters?
My eldest goddaughter is 13, and my youngest goddaughter is 2.
Okay.
So it's all in that range. Most of them are 4 or younger. Yeah,
Do you hear that coming out?
I do. I do.
What do they say?
My niece will often say, things are beautiful, or she'll say, look at my beautiful dress, or, she'll look at a photo of herself, or even recently a photo that we took together, and she goes, that's so beautiful. So she's really placing emphasis on her pretty clothes or on things that look beautiful in her lens. My eldest goddaughter is interesting because she's just become a teenager, so she has more of a concept now of fashion and of um, how she presents herself and of being able to evaluate how others present themselves as well. Um, so it's interesting to talk to her and kind of get her perspective on things and see now as she enters into her teenage years what's forming her opinions and her own self value and self concept as well. I think that when it comes to my older goddaughter, I engage more in conversation about what she sees as beautiful or what she likes style wise, even as she determines what her own style is and what appeals to her about certain things. So I'll engage more in conversation there. For the younger ones, I reinforce things, I think, in terms of reminding them that they're beautiful, whether or not it's with relation to a comment about their dress or something that they've seen that they think is beautiful. So I think that it's just important for them to understand that as they are beautiful and they are pretty, and it doesn't have to be a special occasion or a special dress or a photograph that causes me to tell them that. To be perfectly honest, I worry. I worry about what they'll see and what the influences are. And even when it comes down to not on a media scale, but just their peers and being at school and being in social circles, because what other children and young women are exposed to, and even young men, will come through and they'll hear it, they'll be impacted by it, um, and it's almost like there's no way to get around it. So it's more opening the conversation and opening the floor to discuss it and to help them to understand what the true elements of beauty are and where that natural perspective needs to come in, and understanding that people will have different styles and they'll have different opinions of themselves and of you, but really building a stronger sense of self-concept for them or with them, um, because the images that are out there and the messages that are being portrayed can be very detrimental to a young woman who is trying to forge forward with her own identity. Yeah. I just want for people to remember that the outward appearance that we have is not the definition of our beauty. And it sounds cliche and it's something that people say, but we actually have to own that. And each of us, no matter how seemingly societally stamped with beauty we might be, each of us has certain things that we look at that, might not be quite as we would have created it if we had created our own body. But that's actually part of what makes us unique. And the confidence that we carry ourselves with is really what shines through. And that's something that, especially in our older years, we have to really embrace. And sometimes it's about taking that time to step back and just actually observe where you might have an insecurity and ask yourself why. And when you find that, to just sit with that for a bit and actually work through it, and work through to the point that you realize that that insecurity is just something about you that's different than someone else, and it actually means that you are fully unique and there's something to be celebrated, and just carry yourself with the confidence that you would want, the same way that you've asked me about the younger generation, the confidence that you would want to be able to share with the younger generation has to start with us and has to come from a genuine place.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me, Daniela.
You are very welcome. It's my pleasure.